don't get so hung up on, oh my gosh, I might miss out on this ascension. I might not make it because I don't think I'm doing my soul's mission and all of that stuff. And just be open to the idea that everybody's is different. And maybe you're not going to be a verbal channeler, but maybe you're going to light up people's lives doing whatever work that you're doing from 9 to 5 because you're bringing joy to your workspace and you're joking around with people and you're a good compassionate listener. The whole purpose mission thing doesn't have to look the way you think it's supposed to look in order for you to feel fulfilled in your life and to give your life meaning through how you live it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jenna Blackard.
And I'm Bianca Reyna.
And this is the Haute Hustle Mystic Morning Show. Today, we're talking with Daniel Scranton, and he is an Arcturian channel. And he's going to take us into the depths of how he started channeling and how we can deepen our channel as well. Daniel, welcome.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Why don't you just start us a little bit from the beginning? Just take us back to when you realized that you were channeling this galactic group, how you knew it was, what group you knew, and how it developed.
Well, I didn't actually start channeling the Arcturians until I was 6 years into my channeling career. Because everything started for me in 2010, where at the beginning of 2010, I was doing Reiki on people and noticing that my hands would lift off of the person's body and I would just watch it do that and watch it move across the person's body like a windshield wiper and stop, and then the other one would lift up and go, and I'd think, well, that's interesting.
Right?
I kind of understood something about energy and how it worked, but I certainly didn't expect that. And then my head started to do the Stevie Wonder infinity symbol movement while I'm doing the Reiki. And then all of a sudden I start to whisper. I'm making these whispering sounds. And that's the moment when I said, oh, maybe I'm going to channel someday, like all these people like Esther Hicks and Jane Robertson, all these people I really looked up to had been doing. And I never assumed that I would become one of those people. It wasn't even an aspiration of mine. I was just happy to be the guy who went to all the Abraham workshops and asked millions of questions, and like had my hand up every time to get in the hot seat.
Yep.
You had that proverbial hand up, right?
Yes.
We make this little joke that it's like, if you want to do this work, you've got to stand up and say yes.
The last time that I spoke to Abraham was actually in Austin at a workshop.
Oh, really?
I think I went only one time to Austin to see Abraham. And I had already started channeling, and I asked about my channeling, and Abraham gave me some pointers and stuff. But getting back to 2010, so I was kind of like curious about it, thinking maybe something's going to happen. This is January, then jump to March. And by March, I had a lot going on in my life that wasn't going well. So I had pain in my body. I was in a marriage that I didn't want to be in anymore. And I was feeling stuck and like I couldn't get out of it because I couldn't hurt her feelings. I was at this rock bottom moment and I was crying and I was thinking about ending my life and everything. And then the next night after that all happened, I had this amazing experience that I also didn't expect, which was I had a dream, and in the dream I looked at this guy that I knew from Abraham Hicks named Peter Beamish. He was their videographer. And I looked over at him in the dream, and we're standing in the middle of a desert somewhere. And I said, I understand now about the other beings. And then I woke up from that dream. And then it's March. It's a little bit chilly in LA, but not cold. But I feel like there's a kind of a chill in the air, like I'm getting goosebumps or something. And then I realized, nope, it's energy coming into my body through the crown of my head and fully moving through me like a wave of energy all the way to the soles of my feet, one wave after another. And it's pure ecstasy. It's beyond any, I've never done heroin or anything like that, but it's what I could imagine, that kind of good feeling in the body. And so I'm just in shock, and I'm just going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then my back is all arched and I'm barely touching the bed. And I'm thinking, one more time, more please, more please. And then at some point I had this thought pop in my head, what, I wonder what this has to do with that dream.
Mm.
And then I thought, I wonder what this has to do with aliens. Because I knew by other beings, I meant aliens because Peter was into aliens. And
Yeah.
he would
Yeah.
talk about them sometimes. And I would always
Yeah.
go, yeah, whatever. Like, doesn't, aliens exist, but it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't have anything to do with us.
That's kind of what my
But
husband says.
yeah, that's how I felt about it, really. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, but so what? They exist.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm having this experience, and as soon as I thought the word aliens, they gave me a huge surge of energy.
Wow.
So then I was like, okay, aliens, 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 because I was like a patient wanting a painkiller on the hospital bed, just pressing the button. I just wanted that energy, and I thought it was for healing me, honestly, because I had this like slight tear in my stomach lining. I think it's not quite a hernia, but it's painful, and I thought they were healing me. And then I was just asking them questions like, are you in another dimension? Yes. Are you aliens? Yes. Like, and it was yes if I got an energy surge. If it was no, like I asked, are you here to heal me? I got nothing.
Mm.
Are you here to play with me? I got a huge surge. So then I was curious about whether I could see them, and I eventually opened my eyes and look around the room, and I don't see anything, but the surges came again, like from the very beginning, that same intensity. So then eventually that whole thing ended. And I just had this dedication from that moment on, like, I'm gonna feel that again. Like, I don't care what it takes, I'm gonna feel that again. And I'm already at this point like a chronic meditator. Like, I'm meditating every single day for over 10 years, 45 minutes at least. And I knew how to go within, you know, and
Yeah.
I just figured I'm going to go within and I'm going to feel for this. I'm going to remember it, imagine it, see if I can conjure up that same kind of feeling. And the best I could get to was like, I can give myself full body goosebumps at will, like whenever I want to now, but I wasn't able to get back, obviously, to that experience. But then I go through all these different things where I'm going deep into meditation and I'm having these dry heaves. So I'm like,
Wow. Interesting.
you know, like I'm going to throw up. And then and so cut to October of 2010. And I'm at an Abraham workshop in Asheville, North Carolina. And they're small, they're 190 people, these ones. And I'm like sitting close to the front row, and I start doing the dry heaves thing. And I'm like, I better stop. And then, so it was a 2-dayer. So that night I got together with my friends who were there, and we sat around in a hotel room and tried to see if I could maybe channel for them, but nothing came through me. But I was doing a lot of this,
Yeah.
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 you know, like all these head and neck movements and
Which
facial
is actually how
gestures.
Abraham started, right?
Never afraid, never worried, never afraid about any of it, because I was like, it never even occurred to me that it could be something bad. Like, this is
Yeah.
something obviously that's good. Obviously, it's happening because I'm meditating, I'm doing Reiki, I'm doing all these good things. So
Yeah.
I get in the hot seat the next day. I think I was sitting in the front row the next day, and my hand actually raised itself. So I'm
Ah,
sitting there and I'm watching my friend talk to Abraham in the hot seat while my hand goes, and then when she gets out, it's like this. And of course, I got called on. And I got up there, and Abraham said to me, yes. I asked about everything. They said, yes, you're going to do this thing that Esther does. They don't use
Yeah.
the word channeling. And you just have to work through your resistance to it right now. So just keep doing what you're doing. And I thought, oh, that's not what I was expecting at all. I thought they were going to tell me to stop, and I'm trying too hard, and I shouldn't be doing this. So then, so in the interim, I had gotten filed for divorce. So I did get out of the marriage that I didn't want to be in. And I met a woman on an Abraham cruise a month later. Like, a month after my marriage busts apart, I meet someone on an Abraham cruise. So we're already Skyping every other day. and for 4 to 6 hours at a time. So I told her, of course, about the whole Abraham experience. She wasn't there. She lived in London. And so we're adding on to our normal conversations an hour of me just sitting there and making the faces and moving around and feeling all the energy, but nothing coming out of me.
Mm.
Until one day it did. And it was a group that did not come through and name themselves. They made me come up with a name for them. But they came through the first time and said, "We are here for you." And when they said it, I said, "That wasn't me. That's channeled. I did not do that." So then
Yeah.
from
Nice.
that point on, I knew I could do it. I knew I wanted to do it. I knew I had no other prospects in life but to do this. Like, I was literally going to like Salvation Armies and places like that and buying used books and videos and CDs and selling them on Amazon and eBay for a living. So I had nothing else to do but to say, this is what I want to do for a living.
Yeah.
I was big by then because I became interested in ETs after the March event that happened.
Mhm.
Then I started really getting into Daryl, Anka, and Bashar.
Yeah.
And so one of his teachings is, if you want to do something, you have to do it. You have to put action behind it. Just do it.
Mhm.
And so that was my motto, was like, I'm just going to do this and I'll do it for free. I don't care. Anybody who wants me to do it, I'll do it. And what's the other thing he says? Oh, the other thing Bashar says is you have to have somebody else there asking the questions. So initially, I only channeled when I had somebody there to either ask a question online, on the phone, in person. And so that's how I channeled in the beginning. And I did these small little workshops in people's homes. And then eventually I got the name The Creators eventually through an automatic writing work kind of exercise. And so I started calling them The Creators back in 2012. And I started putting out daily messages from them of like a few paragraphs of something that they were saying to everybody. And I've been
Yeah.
doing that ever since. I've been putting out
Yeah, I've
almost
seen
I
that.
saw
daily
the
message ever since.
999 for today.
Yeah,
Well,
that,
just because it's your podcast,
right,
and I did see the 999, and so it's really interesting how the immediate time, this was why we love doing this show and why we like doing it in real time. So when you're watching this, everyone, it will be real close to the time that we've recorded,
Yeah.
because, and we'll talk about what you've got going on around this time. But because I feel like energies are changing so fast now, and is that just me picking up on that almost the information almost wants to come in daily,
Yeah.
well, there's so
and
many
for someone
people.
like you.
Yeah, there's so many people now who are tapping in. It's a much different world of channeling than it was 15 years ago when I started. You know, it's there's so many people doing it. There's the internet. The internet obviously has blown up and YouTube has blown up, and so you have so many voices and so many people putting out so much. It's like there's a teacher for everybody now. There's not just Eckhart Tolle, Deepak Chopra, Tony Robbins, Marianne Williamson, and a few others. You know, it's like
Right.
there's so many people you can choose from to say, oh, I resonate with that, or no, I don't resonate with that, but I do know that I like channeled information, so I'm going to keep looking.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. How did you start knowing that you were channeling the Arcturians?
This was 2016, and now I'm on my third wife now. And,
It's so neat how it's chronological with the wives.
she and I met in 2016, so that's not a coincidence, because there is this thing about falling in love and my channeling going to the next level, because it's happened. Because I fell in love with a woman on the cruise, and that's when my channeling started. And then, you know, I fell in love with my second wife, obviously, at some point, and which was later on, the one from the Abraham cruise didn't work out. But later on, I met my second wife, and we fell in love, and then she helped me really get my channeling out there to more people.
Oh,
She was
wonderful.
really good at lighting a fire under me and getting me to do certain things I needed to do. And then I met Marie Chris in 2016, and that's when I decided that, because I knew for a long time that I wanted to channel Arcturians, and I didn't know why. I had no idea why I felt drawn to channeling Arcturians, but I did. And then right around the time we met, I was channeling them. She started channeling them too. So it was really interesting. And I just really liked channeling the Arcturians. So even though I still channeled the creators and all the others who had come in between, I really just felt this affinity for the Arcturian Council. And now I know, because I had zero knowledge of the Arcturians and who they were and what they were about. Now I know they're known throughout the galaxy and maybe even the universe, because Bashar talks about the gate of Arcturus and how all souls are now coming in through this gate of Arcturus, which is because of the upgrades, because people are coming in as an entirely new species now. It's not the same species that we were all born as, that are adults, you know. So now I know just how like high vibrational and how spiritually evolved they are. But at the time, I just knew I wanted to do it, and it felt right.
So the energy work that you do with your hands, does that seem like it comes from the universe of the Arcturians?
I've always felt like it just comes from everywhere, and that I'm not pulling it from any one particular source.
Yeah.
And now a lot of the healing work that I do also involves tones and light language. So I started channeling light language. I fell in love with my massage therapist in 2011.
I love that there's all this love.
And we have no judgment on the show. Like, we have a really wonderful group of community who are just open and loving. So just so you know, this is really cute. So when you were working, did you learn a lot more about working with your hands and your bodies, or bodies in general, from like maybe that experience, or in general, because you had already been doing Reiki?
Well, what happened in 2011 was I was on the massage table and I started channeling light language, and I had no idea what it was. So I'd already been channeling in English for 6 months. Like I said, things didn't work out with the woman from the Abraham cruise, but then I fell in love like within months with this woman who was a Wiccan, and she was just so cool, and we just vibed so well together. And as she was channeling me, I started channeling light. As she was massaging me, I started channeling light language, and then I did it every single time from then on. Every time I was on a table. The other interesting thing about being on that massage table, and sometimes I forget this, is that almost the whole time that I was working with her, my arms would be doing all these weird things while like, I'm doing these dance moves while I'm on my back. And then when I'm laying face down, I like to let my arms dangle off the massage table rather than try and keep them like this. And so they'd be dangling off, and it typically was the left arm would just suddenly fly up, and I'd smack myself in the back with the back of my hand.
Oh,
interesting how your body.
This poor woman was trying to, work the muscles there. That there was all kinds of crazy stuff that happened, and I didn't know what light language was, and I didn't know that that's what it was called. But I found out from a wonderful channeler who was at the channel panel, Wendy Kennedy, who I began working with in like late 2011. And her work and the work of Nora Harold, and they kind of came as a team sometimes, was really important for me in mentoring me and getting me to get over all my fears and anxieties about channeling and stuff.
Yeah.
I would love to get into your work, and actually, have people kind of experience your work today during this. I know you do. And, but I definitely wanted to leave time for that. So would it be appropriate to ask maybe if you could do a little bit of channeling for us, or maybe have channeled message, or how would you like to?
Yeah. Do you guys want to ask questions?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can. Before we do though, and maybe this is the one to ask the channel instead of, I wanted to ask about the Bewitching Hour, because the Bewitching Hour,
so like
us waking up 3 a.m.
Yes, 3 a.m.
Yeah, that's the DMT that's being released from your pineal gland. That's when it happens. So people who go to Peru or somewhere and smoke DMT may not know that like your body releases it too. It doesn't just come from frogs' brains, it comes from our brains.
Yeah. And that's something that we like to believe as well.
Okay. So how can we better manage that? Because when I started asking, they're like, this is the star seed call to wake. And I thought that was a really interesting message. And I was like, so is that why and how can I not be included in this star seed call to awake when it was going down? Is there like, can I tap into my channel more at that time or
Yeah.
anything?
Yeah, because
Just,
DMT helps us to connect interdimensionally, so we can connect to other beings in higher dimensional planes because of that
mhm,
DMT being released. So
right.
that's why people who wake up between 3 and 5 in the morning and then do something with that time, they do tend to get something. You know, it feels like a more
Uh-huh.
creative time. It feels like a time when they can really connect. And yeah, and so the melatonin is released by the pineal gland between 10 and 2, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. And then I think 3 to 5 is DMT. And then I don't know when the serotonin is released, because that's
It's
the other neurochemical released by the pineal gland, but that I know gets released when we eat.
I
So,
think, and when I think is activated by light.
ah,
That would make
Yeah.
okay.
sense.
So the morning light,
Yeah.
6 a.m.-ish or something like that.
Yeah, that's why people get depressed in the winter when there's less light, right? Because they're not
And
getting the
that's,
Mhm.
serotonin.
Yep.
I had a lot
Yeah.
of problems in the Pacific Northwest. I have a question as well, kind of
Okay.
similar to the question that you had that you gave to Esther Hicks, Abraham. So I've been channeling since about 2020 when I did a big project with, well, I'll just say it. I channeled Nostradamus and had been on a ship, and but it was through QHHT, was how I raised my hand. I just said I was willing to share whatever it is that came through. I did not know it was going to be a full channeling experience and project that I worked on. As such, I have done some writing, and it definitely keeps coming back to the words of channeling. Do you have maybe, I don't know, any insight on that? Are you getting anything about that in the same vein that you had asked Esther Hicks?
Did you expect to channel Nostradamus?
No.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so that's one of the real fun, interesting things about channeling too, is we don't always know who we're going to get, but we have to like roll with it no matter who or
Yeah.
what it is. You know, we just
Yeah.
have to accept, oh, this is who I'm supposed to be channeling. I don't know why. I don't know why it's coming through in this way. I don't know why I'm doing all these crazy movements or making all these crazy sounds. Like the sounds you're going to hear coming out of me, that was not my idea. So
Mhm.
I just go with whatever happens. And I've always done that, and I just let it happen. And for you now, you just have to keep doing it.
Okay.
Just keep sitting and opening up and relaxing and letting it flow through you, and just don't interfere.
Okay.
You
That's
know,
Which
and
I
actually
guess,
really
it'll
spot
evolve.
on.
It'll become more, and you'll be able to reach out to more beings and stuff. So whether it's with our gifts or whether it's with our lives, we always want to be further along than where we are, you know.
Sure.
And I was talking to Lisa Royal Holt at the channel panel. She's been channeling for 40 years this year. And when she said that, I said, "Oh yeah, this is my 15th." And she said, "Oh, it's going to get so much better." She said,
yeah.
Okay.
she said, "Wait till you see what's going to happen,"
Oh,
because she has that experience of year 15 to year 40. You
Mhm.
know, she knows what it's like.
yes.
And it's true that you get better, you evolve, just like if you were playing a musical instrument or a sport or something. The more you do it, the better you get at it. It's just as simple as that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got
I
that.
Yeah.
when my channel came online, it was very telepathic, and it said it was an Arcturian collective at first,
Oh,
and but then it was no, and I got corrected that we are the Arcturian Dragon Collective.
oh,
And so I was like, so you're a dragon, which seemed kind of odd until I've talked to other people now. Do you know
yeah.
anything about this Dragon Guardian collective that were a part of Arcturus?
Well, I don't know about the specific Arcturian ones, but I do know that dragons are these interdimensional travelers. They're really non-physical or quasi-physical. We have our depictions of them that we see that are just sort of like how we do angels and archangels, like we
Okay.
do
Yep.
our best
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
give them a body and a form and stuff, but that's not really what they look like, because if
Yeah.
they're non-physical, then they don't have a body. But that's kind of like our representation of what that energy feels like to us.
Mhm.
So the idea of flying and being able to breathe fire and all that stuff comes from the feeling, I think, that other people have had in tuning into the dragon consciousness. But it's like, and cats are also interdimensional travelers. They're known for being interdimensional travelers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I have 2 brand new cats that just came into my world.
I actually do too. I have a brand new stray cat.
Aw.
I guess that is why I have Sabrina the witch. Do you have any advice for getting into a greater surrender around
Good
channeling?
question.
Yes, and this is the same advice that Bashar gave me, which is that you really want to do something prior to sitting to channel that already puts you in a higher vibrational state.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you're not starting from zero. You have good momentum going, and you do the thing you love to do the most, and you get your vibe going, and then you sit and you keep going higher and higher from there.
Wow.
For you, what does that look like? It could be sex,
Hiking
it
in
could be food.
hiking in
I
the
don't know.
forest.
I
Could
don't
be
know.
dating the next woman.
Getting
Fall
a
in love.
massage. Yeah, no, no. That certainly receiving massage is something that you can really. I mean, part of the reason why that happened for me is because I was falling in love with this woman, and I felt all these feelings, and I made me want to be more present. It made me want to be there, not thinking about like what I was going to do next or what bills I have to pay or anything, but just be in my body, present, enjoying every single moment of it. And that, if you, whatever you do that gets you to that, is what you want to be doing. But for me, the easier, more sustainable thing to do is to go in the forest. I love a forest. Any forest will do, but obviously, if I could, I would be in a redwood forest, because those trees are just amazing and magical, and I wish I had access to redwoods.
Yeah. But
But
it's
yeah,
very
I would love going into a forest and thinking like I might get lost and never come out. That's how much I feel drawn to a forest.
wow.
Feels like a very elemental kind of.
I'm actually
Yeah,
surprised you don't live
fairies.
near to one
Yeah.
then. Yeah, it
I
seems like,
live near a forest now. I'm going to go there after I'm done working today.
oh,
I'm
fabuless.
So we're
4-minute
between you and the
drive.
forest.
Yeah.
I said, so we're what sits between you and the forest?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll make it worth it.
It's early there. It's
That's
8:30.
true. That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be done at like 2:30, and then I'll go.
I want to talk a little bit about the violet flame.
Yes.
Because
Okay.
that seems to be an energy that keeps coming up and around, and we hear it, and it can burn off things, and it can inspire things. Like, what is the best ways to use it? And maybe, like, is there a good asking of a question to bring it up and
That's a
bring
good
it
question.
within ourselves?
It's funny you should ask, because like Saint Germain is one of those ones where it's like, I don't know why I'm channeling Saint Germain. I don't know much about Saint Germain. I've tried looking up information about Saint Germain online. And of course, there's all kinds of crazy information / theories on Saint Germain.
Theories.
But
Yes.
for whatever reason, Saint Germain wants to come through me, so I'm letting Saint Germain come through me. And of course, Saint Germain is associated with that violet flame, uses the
Yeah.
violet flame, recommends that we use it. And every time I've channeled Saint Germain, it's been about like, just visualize it, just see it. And you can do a Google image search, and you'll find lots of different depictions of a violet flame that you can just pop in your head, and just seeing yourself sort of enveloped by this violet flame, and yeah, burning off what you don't want, but also activating us and giving us more of what we need to be what we do want to be. and
As
manifestation
as
comes
you're
in.
saying that, like all this side of my body is getting warm, and I keep
Yeah.
getting this image of like, yeah, and it's timely. Like this message
Mhm.
is very timely. Like I want y'all to know this. You
Yeah,
know, it's
seems like
almost like,
it's
yeah, it feels like it's like,
up.
and as of the time is what I keep getting. Are you getting any information about why it might feel like it's timely, or even getting that kind of information as well?
Well, the information I've gotten from Saint Germain about why Saint Germain is coming up is because we need a representative of the divine masculine. We have so many representatives of the lower masculine out there running wild right now with their $1 billion assets. We need like this, but we also, I think the reason it's Saint Germain and not Yeshua or someone like that is because we don't need a religion associated with that divine
Ah,
masculine being. We need somebody who's like not associated with any one religion, but does represent the divine masculine. And that's what Saint Germain brings us. And the violet flame is like a depiction or representation of source energy's essence, the love and the light of source that we can visualize and give ourselves and hold on to as something that we can use as a tool.
Yeah,
I
love
love that. And I'm
that.
glad I asked. When do you find, I really am, when do you find that you are using the Saint Germain violet light?
For healing, for sure, and in my channeling to access more of what I want to access in that moment, because I'm very conscious when I'm channeling, and I have lots of things coming into my mind's eye when I'm channeling, and that would be one of them. Other images will pop in that will help me to verbalize something that I'm getting, because I don't know, your audience may know this and some of them may not, but we don't actually channel words, we channel energy. The energy then has to be converted into words.
Yeah.
The words are what the channel makes of the energy, which is why not all channelers are channeling the same thing. It has to do with our vibration, our filter, what we're focusing on, in our lives. All of that influences the way a channeling is presented, but it is energy. The energy is not, the energy is like an unformed thought or something. Esther Hicks calls them blocks of thought. Daryl Anka said, he asked Bashar about Bashar's spaceship. He got a download that took like seconds for him to receive, but then hours for him to write out.
Wow.
So it's taking something that isn't in English and making it into English or into a light language, if that's what you're toning, or if that's what you're channeling. I got ahead of myself. Or tones, if that's what you're channeling,
Sure.
or movement, if that's what you're channeling. So, it's the energy has to be translated and transmitted. It has to be pushed out somehow into the world, and that's the channeler's job. And we don't really know how we do it. We don't understand the mechanism. There's no secret decoder ring. You don't have a key somewhere where you go, oh, this means that. It's just you let it happen, and you trust that it's coming out in the best way that it possibly could be presented.
Yeah. I also feel like it comes from the back of my head instead of like when I'm thinking, it almost feels like it's coming on the front of my head. Do you have an experience like that?
No, but
Can you
again,
tell like, yeah, everyone's different, right?
yeah, but I can tell you that the crown of the head's important for letting it in.
Yeah.
You open up your crown, you let it in. And then the back of the neck is where Bashar says the channeling chakra is.
Uh-huh.
So that doesn't
Yeah.
surprise me at all. And then when some people say, "Oh, I get a pain in my neck, or I have this going on in my neck," when they first start channeling, it's probably because of that.
Oh.
Interesting. Yeah, because that was the difference when it started is I knew it wasn't my thoughts. And it was just
Yeah.
really it was something that I couldn't even explain, but it felt like it came from behind me instead of it coming from my front noisy part of my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
So,
also, yeah, I
yeah.
think getting quiet, knowing that meditation was absolutely key for me. That's how this came on too. But
Mhm.
I think you're just susceptible and open to
I
receive.
thought everybody walks around that way. I really
See,
did.
I was just too noisy probably, and I had to meditate.
Yes. Yes. I
Yeah,
needed to meditate for all those years just to
yeah,
function, just to be able to have enough energy to make it through the day. I needed meditation. So I'm
yeah,
really glad I turned to that instead of coffee, or
Yeah.
something
yeah.
to try to self-medicate myself.
I do both. But usually I'm heavily meditated before my coffee.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's going to be really hard.
Yeah, yeah, maybe that's the difference.
Like
Maybe that's
coffee doesn't affect me, I don't think.
Yeah, different
I
people.
can fall
They
asleep
say
right
it's
afterwards.
introverts and extroverts are affected differently by coffee.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I do agree with
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about so this is a question I like to ask sometimes of our more seasoned on the show
Mhm.
is what is something that an experience maybe that may have been, I don't know, what an experience that maybe have like threw you off? Like what is one of your most like craziest, like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this experience?
Like a mystical thing.
Yes.
Oh boy.
And I say this so that our audience can feel more assured of themselves when stuff happens and just
I-
more safe.
yeah.
Well, a lot of the things I experienced, I've spoken to a lot of because I teach channeling too. I teach one-on-ones and classes and courses, and I'm always surprised when somebody comes to me and says, "This is happening. Is it okay?" Like,
And that's why I asked the question.
I don't know if it's okay for me to be experiencing these tingly sensations or the goosebumps or the involuntary movement and twitches. They don't know, like heat, like you described heat. Like heat's a common sort of symptom or side effect of channeling. Or even like the pains, like the little aches and pains that come and you go, oh, I don't know if that's okay because it doesn't feel great when it's happening, but I think it's important to recognize that it's all okay, and it's all. People also need to realize we create 100% of our reality. We don't just create the parking spot when we
Mhm.
ask the angels to give us a parking spot and then we get it. We're creating all of it, every single little last detail of it all the time. So if something's happening, it's supposed to happen. It's for our greatest and highest
Mhm.
good, and we should never fear it. We should never think, oh, this is wrong. This is the wrong thing to be happening. It's absolutely the right thing, even if it's not what we planned to have happen, even if
Okay.
it's not what we expected, it's not what we thought it was going to look like. It's still our creation for ourselves that we're meant to use in order to go to the next level and the next level. And
Mhm.
when people realize that, then they won't get freaked out by anything. And of course, there are times when like you'll just experience too much energy and you'll have to be like, okay, I need to stop. Like I can't handle this much right now and I need to have my own barometer of when that is. Like I'll decide when I've hit my limit for what I can do. You probably noticed how much water I'm drinking, but
Yeah.
I mean I drink a lot more when I'm working and also when I'm talking a lot, but
Uh-huh.
the cells of the body need to be hydrated to run that
Right.
energy through it. And if you are having an experience like that, again, in a way, even that serves you because you might do some investigating and find out, oh, I'm not hydrated enough. I need to start. Dolores Cannon at one point had to be told, stop drinking Pepsi. Like you
Yeah,
need
she
to.
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
Oh,
And they also told her to quit taking Tylenol.
oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've studied a lot of her work.
Uh-huh.
One of the
Yeah.
other things that I think is fascinating is how you knew that you were going to take this work out to the world. I think sometimes
Mm.
even myself, when I am speaking, and I can only imagine Nostradamus trying to use my library, right? Trying to like come up with words that equal English. He's probably like, what is this girl reading? But whenever that came through, I remember being, because I was still present, which is also what's happening in a lot of the quantum
Yeah.
hypnotic healing sessions, is that the person is still present, and I was still present. But I remember like yelling because he wanted to yell about humanity. And I'm thinking, what is coming out of my mouth? And are these people going to come knocking on the door and ask us to, I don't know,
You're just
handcuffed and take it away? And I only say that kind of funny and jokingly, but I didn't really know how I was going to put this body of work out, because it ended up being a project. And how can I or someone else feel more confident in saying, yes, I'm willing to not only channel and allow it all come through, but to share in the way that you have. Maybe we can use you as a little bit of an inspiration.
Well,
And
I'm
we'll just
lucky.
talk about manifesting next.
Okay. Well, I'm lucky in a lot of ways because I did not, I had broken away from my family's religion of Christianity when I was in my maybe my late teens, early 20s. So by the time I was 38, I was definitely not caring. So I didn't come right out with it and announce to my mother, father, and sister, "Hey, I'm a channel of non-physical energy now. What do you think about that?" Because I
Yeah,
knew
right.
they'd be like, "What the hell?" So I didn't announce it, but it eventually leaked out to them in various ways, Facebook and stuff. And so I've talked about it to some extent with them, but I really didn't care that much anyway. Living 3,000 miles away from all of them anyway, but also because all my friends and acquaintances and contacts were in the Abraham Hicks circle.
yeah.
So it wasn't like I had a 9 to 5 job or something where I had all these colleagues that were going to find out that I was doing this crazy stuff. Like I said, I was working from home, doing this Amazon eBay business, and then I went on Abraham cruises and workshops and stuff, and that was my circle. So it was easy for me to just come out with it and say, "Hey, I do this now." So
Yeah.
the answer is really, I don't know, but the truth is, like, the people that aren't going to get my channeling, it's not for them. I'm not doing it for them anyway.
That makes sense.
If they're going to vibrate more in harmony with Joel Osteen, then, God bless them. Go follow whoever is doing it for you. And I don't need everybody to be into what I'm doing, so I don't care anymore. When I first started, the comments on YouTube hurt. They did hurt. It was hard because I wasn't confident, and I wasn't confident that what I was doing was even real, even though I knew, like I said, I knew I didn't speak those words, and I knew I wasn't making up all those weird movements and then the tones and everything, but still, it's still hard, and it's hard for everybody who starts out, because I'm going to tell you that I hear it so many times that I think it's just a part of the process. People go, "I don't know if this is real, if I'm just making it up." They don't trust it. They think because you're taking energy and you're turning it into words, that does feel like you're making it up, because you have to make the energy into the words. You are making it up, but it doesn't mean it is making it up out of something.
Got
You're
it.
making it up out of something that you're getting, but
Yeah.
at the same time, people need to be able to get over that hump of, I want to keep doing this, but I'm not really sure if it's good or if it's real.
Okay, guys, quick pause. We've got something really close to our hearts to share with you today.
Yeah, that's right. If you've been feeling off, or like your energy is scattered, or you're just not feeling like you, we got you. We know we both had those days.
Yep. And that's why we've had chakra harmonics created for you by a sound engineer. It's a 7-hour sound healing journey that's truly been a game changer.
Yeah, it's super exciting. It's 7 tracks, each one an hour long, specifically tuned to each chakra. And we're not talking about just relaxing. These are sound frequencies that truly shift things.
Yeah, one of my favorite ways is to use it while I'm reading. I just put them in the background, read my book, and then in a few minutes, I feel really alive and clear.
It's so lovely. And the cool thing is, the whole thing is just $27. No fluff, no hidden fees, nothing like that. just beautiful, powerful energy that you can come back to use time and time again.
Yeah. So if you're needing a reset, head on over to houtehustle.com/chakra. That's houtehustle.com/chakra and give them a try.
Now, back to the show.
What everybody needs to know is that, like, it'll resonate with some people, it won't with others, and it doesn't matter.
I love that.
It doesn't ultimately matter, because the people that it's for are going to find it. The people who it's not for may laugh at it. I've seen YouTube comments that are just,
But
thanks,
sometimes
I
that
needed a
pulls
good
up an
laugh
energy.
today.
We laugh a lot. We would just think
Yeah.
that was part of our conscious comedy show.
Yeah. And luckily my skin is not as thin as it used to be. So it's I get it. I look like a weirdo. I sound like a weirdo. I'm channeling aliens, supposedly, right? I get it. Like I'm the me of 25 years ago is right there with you.
I've told the show this, and I say a couple years ago, I just came out and said, I'm just going to be as weird as I actually am.
Well,
And
that's the
everyone else
expression,
can just,
Austin.
right? I
That's the
belong
motto.
here.
Yeah.
That's funny that you remember that. I guess so those that don't know, Austin has this mantra of keep Austin weird.
No, we're doing our part.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about manifesting and how you.
That's what I wanted to
Yeah.
Just mostly because, you just said, 100% we're creating. How can we create faster, bigger? I mean, I know that it's the energy of almost already having it, but I wanted to see what other thoughts you had and what can we get from our more galactic family or our higher self to get things just like more in flow.
Yeah. Yeah, it is about, because we're always manifesting all the time.
Yeah.
It is about manifesting more of what we want, what we prefer. And we do that by being more intentional. The sort of stereotype is the vision board, where you go and you cut out all the pictures in the magazines of the things that you want. You post them on a poster board and you stick it there on the wall so you see it all the time. But that's great, but you also have to determine for yourself, how do I feel about it? Like, do I feel like it's possible? Do I believe it's possible for me? How long do I think it's going to take? Am I anxious about whether I'll ever receive it or not? Like, all these things, people really, it's all about doing the work of self-investigation and going, is this something that I feel like I must have? Am I attached to it?
Yeah.
I feel like I should just write down all these questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or can I be happy now with what I'm manifesting? And what you're manifesting right now, which is everything in your life, is a reflection of your thoughts, your beliefs, your vibration, all of your emotions. So if you don't like it, if you're looking around and going, I don't like that, I don't like that, that's missing and that shouldn't be there, then you have to say, well, what's going on in here that's showing me the projection out there? Because it will match it. And so then you have to, so usually your reactions to what you're manifesting is also a clue to you as to what it is you've been vibrating anyway.
Yeah.
Because what you're looking at is a match to what you've been vibrating. So you're going to respond to it in the same way. So then you have to go, oh, this is, if I keep attracting angry people into my life who are yelling at me, then maybe I'm angry about something and I'm running this vibration of anger. Or if I keep experiencing more lack in my life, then maybe I'm focused on the lack side of the coin rather than on the abundance side of it, which is, I have this I can. So you just do the work of like, I need to shift my perspective. I need to focus on what I do want and not the absence of it, or what I don't want. Those are two other things that we can focus on. We're kind of like fix it oriented, like we want to try to
Yeah.
fix the problem. So we get in there and we try to fix something instead of saying first, let me accept it, let me breathe into it, let me see how I feel about it, process my emotions, change the way I think about it. And then I can address it through action and like what maybe I need to do, unless something's on fire and then you put out the fire. If something needs your immediate attention. But most of us are just trying to move around all the moving parts so we can feel better rather
Yeah.
than saying, well, how can I feel better? And then get inspired to take the right actions, the actions that are going to take me to that next level. That will then be reflected to me because another thing that maybe some New Agers don't know this, but we also are experiencing a brand new reality in every moment. So everything that you want exists already in another reality. And it's just about, so you're not really attracting the thing in the one real reality to you that exists out there in the same reality. Instead, you're moving to the reality where it's already in your house.
Yes.
That
It's like a
that
multiverse.
reality already
You're
exists.
reminding us.
You just have to tune yourself to that
Yeah.
so that you can like think about, well, what would it feel like if it was in my house? Like, what's the energy of it? What's the vibration of it? How do I feel in relationship to it? And then you're putting yourself in that reality where that thing is, or that circumstance, or that person, or whatever it is you're trying to manifest. You just have to match it vibrationally, trust that it's already exists and that you're meant to experience it or you wouldn't even want it. And also do all the work you need to do to clear away all the doubt and all the fear and all the worry and all the attachment and all the negative beliefs that are saying, yeah, well, some people get to have that, but not me, or not at my age, or all the good ones are taken, or, well, I
Like
don't
all the
have the
point of
same
views.
skills and I don't have the same education, so why would I ever be able to have the kind of income that that person has that obviously went to an Ivy League school or something.
Yeah,
Right.
because they've got a conclusion that they went to an Ivy League school, so I can't have it. So they've got that point of view. In your work, what tools do you use to clear these points of view?
And I was going to ask also if you wanted to talk a little bit about this upcoming masterclass or
absolutely.
how you're explaining it.
Yeah.
Because it does sound like you teach this, and you were talking a little bit about offline certifications that you might be doing. So wanted you to be able to work that in as you answer the question.
Thank you. You're good.
Oh yeah. So it's all about me. I spend a lot of time by myself. I have a wife and a daughter, but I work and I don't have much of a social life. And so I work and I spend time with them, and I'm in my own head and aware of what's going on with me a lot. So it's just about catching it. Like the sooner you catch yourself going down a path that doesn't feel good. One of the things too is once you've felt really good in your body, once you've experienced that, where you know what good feels like, then anything that's not that sticks out more like a sore thumb. It really is, we really just have to be willing to do that investigation and say, you know what, it matters that I'm anxious right now. It matters that I'm thinking about something in a way that doesn't serve me, and I should do something about it. Because if you don't think it matters and you can get away with it, then maybe you'll just keep doing it and keep shoving things in your mouth or something to try to cover it up or whatever it is. Everybody has a different way.
Yes.
Like trying to numb themselves to whatever is that's going on, video games, whatever, shopping. But as soon as we recognize like, oh yeah, this is important, I do need to shift this internally and not think this way anymore and not feel this way anymore, or else I'm going to keep getting the same old I've been getting. Then like I've been awake probably since 1999 and channeling since 2010, and yet I'm still a work in progress. I'm still like working on all this stuff myself and having to see the reflections outside of me to get the message that says, oh, this is something you've been feeling and thinking that you really want to shift. But
Mhm.
that's basically it. It's just like the moment you catch yourself doing it, you just have to be willing to say, okay, this doesn't serve me. I know it doesn't serve me, so I'm going to let it go and I'm going to replace it with something else.
Yeah. Actually, that's probably the only answer there really is for it. I know people have
Right.
tools that they're like, give it up to Jesus kind of thing, but I think that's
Yeah. Or the
exactly the
violet
same
flame.
thing. Yeah, the violet flame, poof, things like
Yeah.
that. But ultimately, that is all that those tools are just getting you to
Yeah.
change your mind, make a different
Yeah.
choice. And so I love it. Beautiful answer. I want
Yeah.
to ask you about humanity and some of the evolution that you see coming.
Hmm.
But before, do you want to go ahead and share what you've got coming up?
On October 23rd and on September 25th, I'm starting a life coaching certification program that people can access through my website, which I'll have to send you a link.
Great.
And it is 9 classes, 2 hours each class, where I'll talk about all the work that I've done with clients, because I don't just channel with people. I also work with people one on one. In fact, I mentor this one woman that I just coached into moving to Austin. So there's a new Austin right
Hey,
there
tell
who's
her to reach
awake
out to us.
because,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because
that'd
of
be great.
the work that she and I have been doing together. And yeah, so I'm teaching this certification course so that people can become a life coach and feel confident about their skills and abilities in helping other people. And then at the end, if they go through all the 9 classes, they get the certificate that says, I took this life coaching program with Daniel Scranton, and they can
Nice.
hang it on
Wow.
the wall if they want to.
Right?
And yeah, and there's even a payment plan available for people if they want to do it in 10 payments instead of one.
Great.
Nice. Very nice.
Fabulous. We'll have the link. You'll find it everywhere where there are words, including the YouTube description, the podcast show notes, and the newsletter.
Yeah, and
Thank
people
you,
Uh,
can
Edward.
always go
I
on my website, danielscranton.com, and look on the events tab, because I always have like 10 things going on every month.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, like, what do you maybe know about the ascension or the evolution here on Earth? I mean, I think that some of it's kind of simple that so many people have said that we're entering this age of a new Earth, or we're
Mhm.
moving to the fourth dimension, different things like that. But I wanted to hear what you
How you
you
view
you
it.
knew about it.
Well, I learned about it back in the around the same time I started channeling, and I had no idea what was going on for most
Yeah.
of my life, that there was this big shift in consciousness that is elevating us to a new dimensional frequency and a new density, and that some people call it the Great Awakening, some people call it the Age of Aquarius. There's all kinds of different names, the shift in consciousness, the ascension. And some people are more focused on the density aspect of it, and some people the dimension, which can get confusing. But
Yeah.
but it's basically saying to us that we're meant as a human collective to go beyond where we are now, and we're doing it, and we're doing it through waking up to the truth of who we really are. So we really are aspects of source energy. We really are the God that we once feared and prayed to, and hoped would answer our prayers, and that's us.
Mm.
And of course, we're the human being part of us is just a small fraction of who we really are, which is a small portion of what source really is. So knowing that, and knowing that we create our reality, and we can create a different reality if we choose to, and we put forth the effort. So that moves us into a higher consciousness, knowing that we're all one too, that there's no separation between us and anyone else, that we're meant to experience ourselves as a collective. And when we start living that way, when we start embodying it, and when our words, thoughts, and actions match that, knowing that because you can hear that and go, oh yeah, I get that, I'm a part of source, like, but then it's putting it into the action of our day-to-day lives. that is
Mhm.
the hard part and that matters the most.
Mhm.
So when we start doing that, then we start living as higher vibrational beings who even understand, like, you don't just kill the ant or the cockroach because it's annoying you. It's like, this is a part of all that is too. Like, this is, and I say that as someone who does occasionally go, well, that's just too many ants. Like, I just have to. And I'm a vegan too, and I do that, and I don't like that I do it, but it's like, I know that there's like not enough lemon essential oil in the world till they want to eat the cat food that's in here. So,
Yeah.
but it's about making that conscious choice and knowing, like,
Yes.
yeah, okay, you exist too, and you're just as much a source energy being as I am, but this is how it's going to be right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I always tell
it's
them,
just
I
having
have to be
that knowing,
outside.
like, true. Yeah, yeah. It's just too many. Well, now my daughter's like, don't squish the ants, and it's like, but there's too many and they're too small. I don't know how else to
Well, I
get
can
them
give you a
out.
different perspective on that. I had a master healer that worked with me, and he said, well, I just asked the cockroach, do you want to die? And sometimes it says no, and I do scoot it out. But
Yeah.
generally, they're like, yes, I'm ready to move on. And he's like, okay, stomp.
Yeah.
So
I
maybe
already passed out all
we
that.
just need to ask our insects.
Man,
Yes.
I'm like, oh God, I'm out of there. Like, I have a phobia. I'm sorry. It's just what it is.
Oh yeah.
I do
Oh,
for
yeah.
those, for just one thing. That's it. But anyway,
Yeah.
Just that one cockroach.
just one. Yes. I don't know. It came from my family or something. I'm working on it, guys. I'm working on it. In fact, I just woke up from a dream where I said I had a nightmare. I was like, it was the bugs.
It was the bugs.
She's over here connecting with the bewitching hour, and I'm over here waking up with bugs.
I was like, dude, I woke up at 333 again. I'm like, what is it?
I was yelling. So yeah, we have different experiences.
Yep.
We're excited to
so
share I didn't mean to get us off track, but we're excited to share the certification program for the life coaching. And you had mentioned that you'll be able to get us a coupon code for the audience. And so if you can get that to us, we can also put that into
Sure.
where we have words. Any
Yeah.
parting words for the audience today?
Many people are wondering about what's my purpose, what am I here to do, and I just want everybody to know that you don't have to worry that you as a soul put yourself on some sort of scavenger hunt where you need to find out by looking under every rock what it is you're supposed to do, because if you just look at your life as it is right now, that's the life that you're meant to be living, and you're meant to be the you that you are, and it's not as important what you do as it is how you do it, what kind of energy you put into it, whether you're doing it from love or from fear and those types of things. Don't get so hung up on, oh my gosh, I might miss out on this ascension, I might not make it because I don't think I'm doing my soul's mission and all of that stuff. And just be open to the idea that everybody's is different, and maybe you're not going to be a verbal channeler, but maybe you're going to light up people's lives doing whatever work that you're doing from 9 to 5 because you're bringing joy to your workspace and you're joking around with people and you're a good compassionate listener. The whole purpose mission thing doesn't have to look the way you think it's supposed to look in order for you to feel fulfilled in your life and to give your life meaning through how you live it.
Fabulous. I think that everyone needs to hear that for sure. Well, we'll let you go and get on with your day. Thank you so much, Daniel, for
You're
joining us
welcome. Nice
today.
meeting you, ladies.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure to be here with you. Bye.